Cine Papis.
Welcome to another episode of the Cine Papis. I'm Eddin Martinez. This is Jaime Fernandez. This is Juan Bago. Mike Diaz. We are the Cine Papis. And
Cine Papis.
We never practiced that yet.
Yeah, we're still working on like the acapella version.
Yeah. How are you gentlemen doing?
Good. I'm looking forward to talking about this movie for this week.
I just want to say that the elephant in the room is that Mike over here doesn't have glasses on. We didn't send him the memo.
Yeah. And I can't wear them either. Because the way I have like very oval eyes.
What does that mean?
Meaning like I had to get a procedure done because my eyes were a certain way where the light and I was very blurry and I thought I needed glasses. Mm-hmm. I got glasses and then come to find out I needed.
Mike has got oval eyes.
Yeah, I've never heard of that in my life. Oval eyes. Like, do you for your glasses? Mine are not real, by the way. These are just recording glasses that I have that I freak these guys out with. But I use them for content-based things. Even though I'm supposed to legally wear glasses while I'm driving, I don't.
Well, we were asking why your glasses were like lighting up.
Yeah.
And then you were like, "Oh, I'm just
I'm recording this. For
yeah,
content.
I'm secretly recording. I was secretly recording you now.
It was a secret, but now it's not. So now you know. It's a surprise.
Well,
Hello.
I wanted to front like I'm wearing these glasses because we're doing a movie based on like schools and teachers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm trying to look academic today, but I'm really covering up a sty that I have.
Oh, is that really what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I didn't want it to look gross.
I would have never noticed.
Did you piss off a pregnant woman? Because that's usually how you get a style.
Do pregnant women get styles?
Every time, everybody always mentions like, did you say something bad to a pregnant woman? I'm like, what? I didn't know that.
And it can even come down to, so the whole myth is that if you piss off or you're not being good to a pregnant woman. In fact, like if he's on the train and a pregnant woman's like, can I sit there? And Jamie's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Boom, sty.
Now, I didn't help a woman who had a carriage get into the bus. I kind of...
Yeah.
How does they do the ramp thing?
I didn't want to... Because she looked like the type of woman who would be like, I don't need your help. So I was like, you do you, and I'm going to go.
That was it.
That might have been it. She's not pregnant, but it's close enough, I guess. No, I mean, she got a young kid. So she was recently pregnant.
I've never heard of that before, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Another thing I've never heard of is oval eyes. I have astigmatism on one eye, so I guess I can't really see far with my left eye. And that kind of sucks, but when I don't have glasses on, I'm totally fine. Yeah. I should get these in prescription, though. That'd be dope. Might as well, right?
Yeah.
To kind of kill two birds with one stone.
It'll help you go undercover because someone's like, yo, let me take a look.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, shit. Yo.
So the movie we're talking about today is Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, Mr. Magoo.
That's why we're setting up this whole...
Great way to segue.
Well, actually, I wanted to ask you guys, what kind of kids were you in high school?
Ooh.
It's weird. I was class clown in grammar school. I went to high school and I got very quiet because all the class clowns in high school were a little bit more like, they were like more Def Jam comedy and I was more like self-deprecating comedy. So my comedy didn't match my high school.
You should have transferred and then you could have continued your class clown. So make an announcement like, I'm transferring downtown. I'm not appreciated as a class clown.
I wasn't appreciated. So in college, my self-deprecating comedy started working again.
Okay, I like that. I could kind of agree a little bit, even though I was like a after school activity kid. So like I did like the art club, the jazz club, I did theater.
The jazz club.
Yeah, the jazz club. Yeah, I played congas in the jazz club.
Oh, okay.
So
are you confident? Are you confident if you were on the train, like the A train, you could get the congas out and make some money?
No, hell no, not now. I mean, back then, no, still not back then. I was definitely an awkward high school kid.
They always do the doom, doom, doom.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, yeah, it's like the comedy I saw in high school was like people were basically like riffing off on the teacher.
Yeah.
And I was always like, I don't want to get on the teacher's bad side, you know. So Mike, you seem like you would be somebody who would be like,
were you a troublemaker?
No, I was fucking annoying. Like I was the class clown. I went to a school that there was a handful of Latinos. So I literally was deep into hip hop and I was annoying. I was loud. I knew everybody in the school. I was into sports, but I was like, if I met the 15-year-old version of me, I'd be like, yo, can you
sit down? Can you sit down right now, please?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But I had I was class clown, and then I was literally like the in all the sports teams that I was in, I was sort of that the comedic relief. You know, there's a lot of tension going on. Like there's
that.
racism and racist, not racism.
Oh.
Racist.
By the way,
I ran cross country
I
and
thought
track.
you meant. I did think you meant.
I mean, I didn't go to a white high school, but I
What high
was
school
no
did you
racist.
go to?
I mean, you're not Joe Barlow High.
Joe Barlow High.
It was near Danbury, Connecticut.
Okay.
But again, I was just always on an 11 or 12. So you can only imagine how I am now. I was just way up there, always high energy, early in the morning. So
What about you, Jim? What high school did you go to?
Mount St. Michael.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You went to Mount St. Michael?
Yeah.
I went to Cardinal Hayes.
Oh.
Did we not know that about
Our
each other?
West Coast listeners are going to be like, wait, what?
Yeah,
These
that's fine. We both
This
went
is a
to-
very Bronx.
You gotta put
This
the
is the most-
logo.
yeah.
You gotta put the logo of your high schools right underneath.
We're
It's a
rivals.
very specific
I was Falcons.
Bronx
You were Falcons?
Catholic
Yeah.
high school conversation.
This is a rival-esque
like
thing.
all the Bronx Catholic high school Reddits are like, oh shit, what the
shit,
fuck?
battle right now.
And there was a little bit of beef between Mount St. Michael and
Little beef. There's a big
Cardinal
beef.
Hayes. So, yeah.
No balls.
I didn't want to like.
Big beef.
Are any of your friends gonna get pissed off that you guys are doing this podcast
Fuck
together?
no, a lot of friends of mine went to Mount St. Michael too.
Oh, okay.
Well, I went to Mount St. Michael because my friends from grammar school went to
Yeah.
Mount St. Michael.
This
and
is-
that's the reason why I went to Cardinal Hayes too.
Yeah.
This is a great way to segue to the movie that we're gonna cover today.
Yes,
because
we
it
are-
felt like I was back in high school watching this movie.
Bruh, we were doing Stand and Deliver. This
Stand and
time-
deliver, and it's not about like it's not about the beginning of UPS.
Yeah.
Which is how I thought initially. I was like,
Is
oh,
there
this is
a movie about that?
based on a real
I'd watch
story
it.
of
I'd watch that movie.
A movie about UPS?
Yeah, how they started.
Would you ever
how they
watch one
started,
about
where like they just
oh,
stood and delivered stuff.
I love it. I was gonna say, is that like Castaway? But that was FedEx, and that was not about the start of FedEx.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We're doing a Stand and Deliver with
Yes.
Edward James Olmos. The movie is an 80s movie. I'll give you guys
A very
the
80s
breakdown.
movie.
A very, very, very 80s movie. So here's your breakdown. So our lead character goes by the name of Jaime Escalante, not to be confused with
Another
Jaime
Jaime.
Fernandez. Yes. Who's starting to teach at Garfield High, which was considered a very tough high school in East L.A. with very low academic
And
expectations.
they always serve lasagna for lunch on
Yeah.
Mondays, only on Mondays.
Yeah, and then they still had Taco Tuesdays and then Burger Wednesdays. I don't know how
Right.
the alliteration went. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for my very hardcore Garfield the cat joke.
Yeah, I know.
That's only for the
I know,
Garfield the head.
Yeah.
My Garfield head.
Oh.
We feel seen.
Look,
Thank you, Jamie.
Sorry, continue.
No, you're good. Jamie gets there. Kids are going crazy, but you just start to slowly learn that Mr. Escalante is trying to be an above and beyond teacher. He got there. He was immediately trying to be like, "Where's the computers?" There was no computers.
There were no
He was supposed to
computers.
teach computer science. They eventually get him to do mathematics, and it's kind of funny because we start learning throughout the movie that there's just teachers. Like there was this one physical education teacher who he himself was teaching a whole different course. I forgot what it was actually, but then he was actually a physical ed teacher. So he gets the kids to start learning mathematics, doing like simple multiplication, doing algebra at one point, and then eventually the movie gets into him trying to teach them calculus. Right? He starts to learn in the process of teaching them algebra and calculus, all this other stuff that these kids are going through a lot,
Yeah.
right? That's a big aspect that we learned from the movie is that there's a lot of subplots where just different characters are dealing with different struggles, whether if it's, a kid whose parents don't want her to go to school because they're doing the family business, or one that's really troubled in a gang life or a cholo life or however you want to describe it nowadays.
Right. I call it cholo
Macare-
life
yeah.
because that's where I grew up.
That's how you grew
That's
up,
true.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then even some who are just actually genuinely having just a tough time really learning, maybe even dealing with problems at home. We go from there. They start actually even doing summer school, which is kind of crazy, right? Typically for that school, they don't even calculus is unheard of. That's for Jaime Escalante's character. He's like, okay, that's like a college thing, or they want to bring it to high school, and they're like, that's insane.
Yeah, like even the people above him on the board or whatever,
Yeah.
they're like, these kids don't know calculus. What the fuck?
They had
the
no
fuck you
faith
doing,
in
bro?
them,
Like
yeah.
they're still figuring out fractions.
Yeah, exactly. They had no exactly figuring out fractions and percentages.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like antics of how his character just really tries to really get it in with the kids. And I know that sounds a little weird. Or just get into their minds.
Is that type of school?
Yeah, it's not that type of school. Even though he was giving that type of energy a little bit. But just trying to...
Get to that later.
It reminded me, honestly, because I used to teach after school for like a little bit, right?
Interesting.
And when I say for a little bit, I mean like one time and never again.
They were like, you don't go to school here, sir. What are you doing here? No, I want to teach y'all.
I just want to teach you guys.
Shit.
I was the Latino teacher in like in an all white after school, trying to teach them like film and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm never doing that shit again, ever again. It reminded me of why I don't ever want to be a teacher and how much I want to praise teachers. And I'm like, damn, they don't get enough credit in my opinion. So they're dealing with a lot of personal issues, jobs, family pressure, gang violence, and etc. And eventually, right? Mr. Escalante wants the kids who have been working so hard across months and months and months and months to get into to do a big AP calculus exam, like an advanced placement calculus exam.
This guy's just like a bunch of...
He
sounds like a fun guy, right?
Yeah,
he's
just
intense,
like,
though.
You know
Okay.
what we should do? Some AP calculus.
Yeah, some AP calculus.
What do you think, kids?
Yeah. And then eventually they actually do the test and they all pass. They all pass, which is a great moment. You know, they're all seeing a little bit of light in this cold, dark world that's given them a lot of trials and tribulations. Only to then, out of nowhere, be accused of cheating. The testing board claimed that the students were cheating because they all had similar answers. So then that was like a moment of kind of crushing their pride. And that obviously really sucked. So then we get into eventually Mr. Escalante even dealing with his own health problems and everything. And they make them redo the test. They make them, Mr. Escalante wants to make sure that they're prepared, that it's so super consistent. He had faith in the fact that these kids did not cheat. They retake the test, but under like super strict conditions. And it was even crazy. Right before they took the test, they were like interrogating them. I remember even a point where one of the gentlemen was like, oh, like, you know, no one's going to jail. No one's going to really get in trouble. We just want to know who had the answers, you know, who did what. And I'm watching this and I'm like, these are supposed to be high school kids.
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing. But I guess especially like test taking back then was really big. And, you know, these kids want to have a bigger future. Long story short, they retake the test. They actually do really well.
Yeah.
All of them pass again. And even Mr. Escalante was like, I want them to get their original test scores back. Like they want to make sure they instill that.
They didn't even let him see it, right? Like,
No,
he's like,
they didn't.
I want to see like if
they
they
get a phone
cheated. Like
call,
I'll let you know.
Yeah, they get a phone call.
It was so crazy because that moment where he was like, okay, so you're almost saying it's like a conspiracy. So who would be the head of the conspiracy? Me. So let me know what's going on here. And he's confronting, and they're not giving him the papers.
And a young Andy Garcia is like, what? No, we're not showing you anything.
Yeah.
And I'm not racist.
Yeah. It's like, you guys want to just go because these are just young kids who don't know any better, who are coming from tough places. It's like, okay.
That moment was great.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if this was Beverly Hills, you guys wouldn't be sent to Beverly Hills. And that's where Andy lost it.
Yeah.
I feel like Andy Garcia thought he was gonna be like playing a cop role or something.
They did both look like cops.
Yeah, and they're basically like just
FBI agents.
Yeah, well, they're FBI agents.
No, they were acting like
Oh
FBI
yeah,
agents.
they're like, what are they? They're just like checking to make their work for the Board of Education.
They called
and they're like, what the fuck's going on in here?
It's so funny. They called them. So it's from the kids got a letter from the ETS. That's what it was, right? So the Educational Testing Service, and they were called ETS officials. That's what it was. Not cops.
Yeah.
Not agents.
They
ETS.
were very
officials.
intimidating.
Yeah.
I was intimidated, so I'm sure the high school kids were like,
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so they retook the test.
Yeah.
They passed the test, and it was just like a good moment of one, not just only clarity, but hope that these kids have a better future. And that is my breakdown of Stand and Deliver really quick for you guys. But there's obviously a lot of more things that we could go and break down, but I would love to hear Jamie's facts and fictions or facts and furious of this movie before we really get into that.
Okay, before I really get into the facts and furious of it all, let's just acknowledge that this is a genre of movie. Basically, the teacher, usually a white teacher, so this is kind of different, who goes into, an inner city high school and inspires the street kids, right?
Right, basically.
You're right.
And so, Dangerous Minds, Lean on Me.
Freedom Riders.
Freedom Riders. John Leguizamo did one, but he was obviously...
yes. I forgot what the name was, but yes, he
I'll
did
look it up
a few
while
years
you
ago. Yes, no, I remember. Probably like 2017, 2018.
But the
Critical Thinking?
Critical
Yes.
Thinking, The Substitute. Although
The Substitute is crazy.
Although he was just kicking everybody, every Latino kid's ass.
Yeah.
That's a different type of inspiration.
Yeah.
You know, I came across that movie like on a TikTok maybe like a year ago. Like it was just showing scenes of him like literally punching people. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. This is cool.
No detention?
And they made like 4 of those, by the way.
Dead ass.
Yeah. He just kept getting hired.
Yeah.
He's like, can you come to our school and kick the ass of every street kid in our school?
So the last one that they made was called The Substitute Failure is Not an Option.
Wow.
Which is pretty funny. That was 2001.
That's actually good. Failing. Oh, you see, like
Failure
failing
is
class.
not-
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So as a genre, I didn't even...
Straight A's. I'd be like straight A's, but spelled with 2 A's, like straight ass kicking in parentheses. So straight A's.
okay.
Straight
There you go.
A's, but kicking.
Straight ass kicking.
Straight ass kicking.
There you go. I like that.
That's the next substitute that I'm gonna pitch.
When you guys were watching this movie, was there a character that you felt like you could resonate with the most? Even though I know we kind of gave our spiel of like who we were in high school, but I knew I wasn't the kid in like the front of the class trying to be a fucking like extra dork. That was not me.
The dork with the big glasses,
Yeah.
even though we're wearing big
Even
glasses.
though we're wearing
You're the
big glasses now.
musician, right? You were the the one that put his name on the board.
Jamie was the cholo, bro. What you mean? Like he's big cholo.
I
vibes.
aspired to be the cholo, but I think I was probably the waitress girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, hey, I think I get this, but I'm also shy.
Yeah. But I also have to serve like Coors Light
I'm
for my
secretly
daddy.
smart.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm probably like the girl that the dad owned the restaurant.
Yeah.
She was really, really smart, but then the dad was like, no, she's got to quit and she's
That's
gonna
the
have
one
to
I'm
work.
talking
That's the one
about.
he's
The
on, yeah.
same girl.
Same girl. I was definitely the kid
Cut that out.
But
So we're keeping that.
we'll keep
No,
it.
we're I was definitely the kid who just kind of felt the car engineer, like who just felt like slower. I think that was kind of me,
Oh,
Loki.
AC Slater before AC Slater?
100%. Who always had a fight with Angel every single
He had
time.
an anger issue though, dude.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
I don't have an anger issue, but I definitely would like be so frustrated with myself if I didn't catch things initially when it came to school.
He had a point where he was like, I'm dumb, yo.
Yeah, I definitely didn't do all that. That was like exceptional. Do we want to do the facts and furious for this?
All right, so based on this, this is based on a true story.
Yeah.
It's based on the real life experiences of Jaime Escalante, and who taught calculus at Garfield High School for nearly 20 years. So this dude was doing it for a while. Okay. First-time writer and director Ramon Menendez and Tom Musca, or Musca, whatever, secured the film rights to this story for just $1.
Wow.
So Escalante, I guess, was just like, he was like, fuck the math. Just give me $1 for this.
That's so interesting.
What?
I wonder why that was such a...
I mean, maybe.
deal.
Well, they did give him. They did have him on set.
Yeah.
And Edward James Olmos. This leads me to the next fact and furious. Edward James Olmos, who played Escalante, he shadowed the real teacher for up to 18 hours a day. He actually lived with the Escalante family to prepare for the role. I
That
think
had to be annoying.
That's
Yeah.
OD.
You imagine you're the wife and you got to deal with two Jamies? No way.
That's actually a lot.
Edward James Olmos is just like on a sleeping bag in the bedroom, like, so like, I just want to like watch you guys. If that's okay. Can I watch you sleep? Is that creepy?
But it's so funny. He did smoke. I'm gonna put this
Oh my
picture up. He
God.
definitely did smoke the hair when I look back at
Oh
it.
my
But
God.
imagine being there all together.
I
all
don't,
the time.
you don't need to do that for a role about a teacher. I don't think. I
mean,
think. Do you? I mean,
If you want
think
to get Oscar nominated, I guess you do.
he did get Oscar nominated,
Yeah.
but I mean, he could have just been at the class, in school. He didn't have to like stay with them. Like, not even if you can do a ride along with a cop if you're playing a cop, but you don't have to like go home with them.
Edward wanted to know what made him tick. Maybe the classroom wasn't enough.
Yeah, maybe
So he had to be in
maybe
there.
mannerisms at home to see maybe how his wife was, how his kids were, to see like I guess to portray his not only his enthusiasm but commitment to really wanting to be not just a high school teacher, but an educator.
Yeah.
Because even in the movie, he was doing like after school, like volunteer, but also after school.
Yeah.
And then summer school. So like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And there was a cameo by Escalante, the real Escalante, in the movie. I guess he played an educational consultant. I don't know what scene that was, but
I'm trying to remember when that was too.
Maybe, you probably would notice him because they have him and almost got the same sort of
Hair.
What is that? What is that called?
Comb
comb
over?
over. Yeah.
It's a comb over.
Yeah. That was like this hairstyle, by the way, was like a fear of mine growing up. Because I knew like when I get to even like now as a 30-year-old man, like I have some hair loss without doubt. But like there's dudes that I knew that by 25 were pretty much bald. Yeah. Pretty much bald. Yeah.
And then the decision is.
Well, that's the thing. I don't really see these comb overs nowadays. I don't know about you guys.
No, I don't see it.
You guys have
either.
great hair, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's not real. This is not real.
Yeah, it's all trans.
It's a transplant.
I went to an unknown foreign country.
Turkey. He's hiding a sty in the top of
I have a sty all over my scalp.
So he did a cameo in the movie as well. That's
He did a
interesting.
cameo, so he got full access. So maybe it was worth only
The
selling it
$1?
for like $1. And this was cool. Edward James Olmos, he remained close friends with Jaime Escalante.
Love it.
Up until his death. He even led a campaign to help pay for Escalante's medical bills when he got sick. I think he had cancer, some sort of cancer. And and I actually saw a story online, like an old YouTube video where you saw Olmos and the real Jaime Escalante together during his final kind of days. And it was pretty heartwarming and sweet that he still kept a relationship with him all those years after the movie.
Yeah. He didn't have to.
You didn't have to. That is so true.
And the final thing is that this movie, when independent studios rejected the project, the filmmakers secured funding through grants and endowments, including one from PBS. So
shout out to PBS.
Shout out to PBS. I know they're trying to take it down. We don't want to get political.
Already did.
We don't want to say political, but like, PBS. I mean, they're not just free tote bags.
I think I've mentioned this before, maybe either in private conversation or whatever. But like, they did it in L.A. Like, it was an East L.A. school.
Yeah.
Garfield High School, and that was where it was kind of interesting to me because growing up. I didn't understand because
growing up in East LA, where you grew up.
Grew up in East LA when I went to Carl Hayes, right? Right. The Bronx East LA, But like knowing, like I didn't know what a cholo was when I first saw this movie, and I was like a teenager. I didn't understand it. I didn't make my research of that, even though I was around like a lot of Latinos. They were mainly like Dominicans and Puerto Ricans.
There was a lot of words in this movie that I never heard before, like. She said gabachos. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, that's so fucking funny. Yeah. I thought about that too.
I was like, okay,
when Shorty went away with the
yeah. What's up with these gabachos?
She went away with the white dude.
What's going on with these gabachos? And I started using it in regular conversation. I was like, yo, why you think you're not
Mexican? You're not Mexican, but like, have you heard of that? You never heard of that?
Gabacho, no. Like gringo was like the one that I heard OD, but like. Not gabacho. That was so weird to me.
And you use gringo a lot in regular conversation.
I use gringo like a lot. Gringo. Like, imagine. But that was weird to me because I'm like, growing up, because I was like, I didn't understand that culture, the slang, the style, and everything like that. And then obviously, a big part of it for this movie, at least, it was bigger when I first watched it. I thought the whole like gang thing was huge in this movie.
Yeah.
Even though it was an element for one of the characters, it was an entire element for the movie, which was I've seen for like not Freedom Riders. I forgot what was the other movie.
Dangerous Minds.
Maybe Dangerous Minds. Yeah, so maybe for Dangerous Minds.
Con Air.
Yeah, or the substitute. Yeah. That was really interesting. Was there any parts that stood out for you guys?
All right, so I don't want to break rules, but we don't have rules on this podcast. So I want to start a new segment that's called Did Jamie Write This Scene?
Here we go.
Did Jamie write this scene?
Yeah, these lines. This
now, why are you
one.
saying this? If people don't know me, like, why are you saying this?
You gotta, with your comedic lines, there could be some sexual, little.
Wow, okay.
Little, you'll get the gist of it. But in the beginning, like right when you meet,
he's a little perverted.
Right in the beginning, he's stepping into the classroom, And I don't understand. Like, is that something from the 80s that's just the paper balls that you people just throwing?
Oh yeah,
There was just like
spit wads, paper balls,
throwing
paper
it.
airplanes.
Yeah. So
That's usually a thing in these sort of movies. Like
Yeah.
the first day the teacher comes in, and no one's in their chairs. Everyone. I've never been to a homeroom that like hectic. It's always like, well, we went to Catholic school, so like maybe that's why we're like,
Maybe,
we had the Jesus on the cross. We're watching us.
People were still hectic regardless, though. Just not like that.
Not like
was-
that.
yeah.
I mean, we were, they were talkative, but like, anyway, that's a thing in these movies.
So right in the beginning, we'll discuss more about his character, but this right here, this line that he says, right in minute 4:30, I think, it's a little bit in there, where there's like a little interaction. He comes in, so we could take a listen.
Here, check this out.
Can we talk about sex?
We discuss sex, I have to give sex for homework.
Is that the bar?
That's a Jamie.
That was the
That's
bar?
a Jamie. That would be a Jamie line right there.
I think I can hear you say something like that.
Even one of the kids, after he says that from the background, you hear, "I'm gonna report you for that, bro."
Does he say that?
Yeah,
Wait,
like,
hold on.
you one-liners in
I'm
there.
gonna have you fired.
Hold on.
We discuss sex, I have to give sex for homework. Stand back, everybody, please.
You know, I can get you fired.
That's actually, I did not catch that.
I'm like, yeah, they understand that
If
this
you
is
watch the
inappropriate
movie
too.
in that opening, the one-liner zingers when he comes in, I'm like, yo, that shit is fucking funny. That was one, but there's a few that I'm like, yo.
No, I don't even think that's the worst one. He goes up to the girl that we both think that we were similar to. Going,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the smart,
her- I think her name was
quiet
Lupe?
waitress one. Lupe, yeah. He goes up to her and he's like, "Is it true that intelligent people make the best lovers?"
Oh, yeah, he does say
And I'm
that.
like, that's creepy.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And like, I was like, what is this? And this is also in the first 10 minutes. And I'm like, I thought this was about an inspirational teacher, not a fucking.
Dude, do you think Jamie was on set and he's like, James, come over here real quick. Edward, come over here real quick. You know how I would have say that. I feel like he's on set
Maybe.
watching that. I mean, he wasn't embarrassed about it. Like I don't know.
It doesn't help that he looks kind of like a serial killer or a sex deviant.
Someone could probably make a fire edit of this movie, like into 1 minute, and make it like a scary movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All the lines,
Oh, for sure.
all the movements he does. But then that's the thing, right? I guess
Stab and deliver.
stab and deliver. Shouts to Jaime Fernandez, everybody. That was crazy. Stab and deliver. Coming to you this Halloween.
That's a Jamie joke.
Yeah, that's a Jamie joke. No, I could. Okay, so you know when Mike had said that originally in our group chat,
Yeah.
I was like, I want to see what this line is, but I didn't want to watch it until
No, of
we got
course.
it. I could hear you like throwing that in there.
But
Absolutely.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't throw
Not to
that
kids.
joke. Not to high school kids.
Yeah,
You know?
in the context, yeah, not to kids.
I'd wait for college.
Yeah.
If I was a
junior
college
year.
professor, yeah, of course. Of
I
course.
mean, do you guys remember when he was doing like a math problem, but then he was using gigolos?
yeah.
Yeah. And they were standing
And then
there.
they were watching in on him.
Yo, which is funny when who was it that brought in a friend? He's like, "Oh, are you auditing the class?" You know, the thing about his character, and I got it. Like, if you're gonna confront this population of kids,
Yeah.
he had a little like he just was a smart ass, but it was weird. But he had a way. Like,
It worked.
He countered. Like there was no fear in him. There
No.
was no fear in him, but it was just kind of weird and a little too much. But I guess it worked.
But he also he was sexual, but he also threatened the kids too.
Yeah.
So he would do like, all right, what's 2 plus 2, huh?
Right.
And then it's like, I'll break your neck, man.
Yes, yeah.
You know I can stab you in the heart, right? And then, like the kids like, is this his way of motivating them? Like, what the fuck?
The first time that when Angel shows up, right, and interacts with Jaime.
By the way, there's always an angel in these movies.
There's always an angel.
There's always
of
an angel
course.
who's not
Like,
really an
if
angel.
I gave you like the students, like students in Escalante, like there's Angel Guzman, Claudia Camejo,
Right.
Ana Delgado, Javier Perales, Lupe, y'all favorite.
There's always a Javier.
And then Pancho, who's that hothead that we were talking about earlier too, right?
yeah.
But when Angel does show up, hothead, whatever, he shows up with his band of dudes, right? Which was so weird to me because then he was gonna I think take his pen, and and he was like, "You might break a finger. Oh, you might break a finger, right?" Yeah. And then he slaps him in the face. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, that was the first.
Yeah, that was the first
scene.
interaction. Yeah. I was like, "What the fuck? Like that is a strong move." But I mean, Mr. Escalante wasn't gonna do nothing about that.
No, of course not.
But that's when you thought that Lou Diamond Phillips, who was the guy who slapped him, and what was his character's name again? Angel, big part of the movie. Angel and after that, he's kind of he's the secret smart guy of the class.
Yeah. Really interactive.
Yeah. But in that scene, it looked like he was gonna be the problem. And really the problem guy was the other guy in that scene, was this guy who comes in he comes into class the first day that Edward James Olmos is teaching. He kind of like threatens him a little bit, and then he never goes back to class.
Yeah, he never goes back to class.
Why did he go to that class in the first place? Like, I don't get that. But he was the problem guy.
That's why when I was rewatching this movie, even today when I was rewatching it, I was like, oh, I thought there was a lot more like, there was kind of violence, but I thought there was a more violence behind the scenes somewhere.
Right. I see what you're saying. There was more violence behind the scene. One of my other favorite moments that I had was the negotiation of where Lou Diamond Phillips' character was committed, but didn't want to have to deal with some of the repercussions.
Right.
Where it's 2211, the book. Conversation.
Yeah. And then
I'm like, yo, you're putting way too much thought process in here.
I love that scene because I remember when he's grabbing these books, he's like, this one's broken.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I get it. The growth in this movie is maybe why I see why it was so popular at one point.
Yeah.
And to see that character committed, it happened. Funny enough, this movie is what, 143, I guess, maybe a little less because of credits, etc. The growth amongst the students happened so fast, in my opinion.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
The pacing was weird.
Is that right? So am I wrong to think that? Because I was like, there's trouble. There's no paradise. You get an insight of like how everyone has their own problems, right? Whether it was dealing with gang life, dealing with a sick family member, or dealing with the fact that your family wants you to invest into the family business, not education, right? And especially the trope of the fact that Lupe is a woman or a girl in this case because she's a high schooler, and her father probably didn't want her to go to college. She wanted her to go to the server route or maybe running the business. Did you guys feel like in high school? Did you guys have things sorted out, or even by senior year and etc.? Did you want to go to college? Did you want to do some other shit? Like, what did you want to do?
I think for me, it was a little different because I grew up in the suburbs and I already sort of wanted to be in the city. I kind of wanted to be more exploring because I didn't really feel like I was able to explore in the suburbs. I wanted to go into school, but I wasn't really highly motivated. And maybe that's why I got into comedy. I wasn't really like, yeah, this is my passion. This is what I do. Because I was in a school that everybody was like 99% of the people were graduating and they know they were going forward in college. I feel like, I'll go too. But I wasn't really focused on that. And my dad was in construction for a while. My dad would be just the same. My dad was like that dad. We're like, okay, are you going to do this? When I wanted to work during the summertime, he'd be like, why are you going to work at a store when you could make this much money with me? Even though he lowballed me. He said, you can make this much, but he never paid me that much.
Okay.
But my dad was the same way where it was like, why go to school, college? You come here, this is the family business.
So you are like the girl in the movie.
I told you, yes. So to answer your question, no, I didn't have it all figured out. I just felt like, all right, this is the next natural step. Let me go to school, and I didn't,
I feel that. What about you, Jamie?
Well, my gang friends weren't into school so much,
Okay.
so I was kind of pushed. I was kind of like, should I stay? Should I go gang life full time? Once I figured that out, because I failed the gang initiation.
I
I failed
heard about that.
it was horrible.
I'm trying to understand if Jamie's joking.
It was pretty
or not.
embarrassing.
I'm like, it was Jamie. I could see it.
No,
He's been around gangsters.
I think I expected to go to college. I don't think that was like a big mystery, and I was obviously, when you see movies like this, that's a privilege to be like, oh, I might go to, the next step is college, right?
Yeah, even community college. It's like, oh, cool. You
Right,
could further your
yeah.
education in some sense, yeah.
And so, again, these movies, some of these kids need that sort of Jaime Escalante teacher.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't think I ever had a teacher that inspired me like that. Like, if anything, you
Honestly,
would get...
me neither.
Yeah, you would make fun of teachers. Like, I know this teacher has like really intense coffee breath. Like, that's how I would... That's how I would categorize teachers. I wouldn't be like, yo, this guy like really inspires me. It's like, no, I think this guy has a toupee. This is a teacher that has like a hardcore toupee.
Yeah.
But you know what's so funny to you? You talk about that, but within the movie, you hear the hierarchy issues. They're gonna like lose what? The
funding and everything.
Their funding and everything.
Yeah.
And they looked at it and it's like there was that one scene that he was talking to, I forgot who it was in the school. It was like, yo, don't get their hopes up. Like if you get these type of kids their hopes up and they don't get it,
I hated that.
Yo, you're fucking them up. And I'm like, yo, on a bigger picture, it was like just go through. 70% are gonna fail. It's just let's go through the run the mill and call it a day. So you're right. If they had more teachers like Jamie or Jaime, you would see more success. But everyone's going in there like, yo, we're just clocking in, clocking out. We're gonna probably lose funding. And what the fuck, man? Why are you trying so hard?
Now, what I think this movie doesn't really express well is like that they didn't really show that he was actually a good teacher. Like, I didn't feel inspired watching him. I felt like he was weird and a little creepy. And he actually had an addiction. He had an addiction to teaching.
Is this your unpopular opinion?
This was actually, no, it's not. But this could easily be an unpopular opinion. But it's actually, I have another unpopular opinion. But he has an addiction to teaching. His wife is like, Jaime's teaching night classes for free.
Right.
This dude had a heart attack.
Yeah, man.
And he left class and just like had this.
Yeah, it was like fucking falling apart.
First of all, that was like the longest heart attack scene I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what's so crazy? That's like tearing your ACL and going right back into the game and playing a couple more games in the playoffs.
The funniest part to me about all that was when he's right about to leave the class, he goes, dame un momento, and everyone repeats it in English, like, give me a moment. I was like, that's a good detail.
Yeah, that was a little funny. Detail. Yeah, that was a little funny joke there.
Give me a moment. Hey, give me a moment.
Yeah.
And then he goes, he's in the doctor's office. They're like, yo, you need to chill for like a month.
He's like,
his 30-year-old son is like, Dad, you gotta chill.
Yo,
like,
so I'm so glad you said that.
He has a younger son, but then he randomly had like a 45-year-old son.
Right, he looked mad old, and I'm like, is he in high school? Is he in college? Where is he
Very
at?
ambiguous.
And he has no personality. He's like, Dad, Ma's right.
and then that's why he just tells him, he's like, just make sure you take out the trash when you get home. Like, he has no love for this child.
But the mom is literally like gasping for attention though. She's like, again, you gotta go to class. He acts like he's like an emergency room doctor.
Dead ass.
Like he's on call, and she's like, yo,
I guess that was problematic.
Can you not? She has to actually tell him, can you not teach during the holidays?
Yeah.
Who the hell said so? To me, it felt like this dude had an issue. He was a teacher, but he was like, he was had a teaching addiction. Yeah. He needed an intervention for education. And so I didn't really see the inspired part. And like what Eddin says, we never got a gradual scene where like we saw the students in real time be like, wow, this guy really, he's more than just a weird balding dude. Like he actually isn't, they had him intervene in the kids' private lives, like, when he goes to the restaurant.
Also another weird part.
But to me, it didn't feel organic. It felt like this guy's still weird to me. Anyway, but I don't think the movie really showed that in a way that I felt was organic.
Do you feel like that worked in that era and that time?
For sure.
Because I agree with
1,000%.
It wouldn't work now. All you needed is like one student recording him and they were like, all right, he's done. But I feel like you're right. But in some weird way, it worked. You know what I mean? Especially these people. Look, the moment he steps in, they're making fun of him, and he kind of had, like I said, it was just so, it was like, it took that type of weird, crazy energy to kind of like, they'll throw it at him, and he was like, oh no, not me. And he went back. But I agree with you. Like, he was fucking a workaholic.
Yeah.
That's literally what it was. Because it was so weird when they were like, yeah, you're going to have a substitute teacher. And he's like, yeah, man, I don't really know about math or anything. And then like 2 seconds later, all right, you're done. I'm tapping you out. I'm back. And they're like, oh, shit, you're back.
Unpopular opinion that I want to say real quick is these kids were focusing way too hard on math. Like, what were their scores on everything else? That was my only thing from the movie.
That's funny.
That's true.
Like, how was English? Because there were some kids that didn't even speak English in the class. Not that you can't have an education without speaking English.
Of course.
Even he wasn't great at English. He was like,
Yeah.
have you done your multiple choices?
Yeah.
Or something like that. He said something. I was like, okay.
What's earth science looking like for you? Like, what's all that like? That was my biggest thing.
If the board focused on that,
Yeah.
and they went and they take out some of the test scores in the other one, they probably have a little bit more to work with than just focusing on those test scores. But yeah,
Also, I realized how bad at math I am. I'm like, I would fail.
I didn't do
I would
calculus.
fail
Did you
this
do calculus?
class.
Were you
I don't.
lost in the movie when he was talking about some of the examples?
I would not. I would fail easily. I never was good at math. That was like my worst subject. I was great in every other subject.
I was great at math, only because my father
great too.
would make me sit down on that fucking table, and bless his heart.
Yeah.
But like, he would make me sit down on that table before any regents or anything like that, and would like, I can't leave that table unless like shit is done.
And that's why sports coaches and math teachers can be. It's that. It's
I see that.
hammering it in. Like again. The way he
Is
was
that a
teaching
thing?
was a sports teacher.
That is a thing, right?
What?
Like, where I feel like I've seen like math teachers also, like at least in my high school, math teachers were also like some sort of part of like they were like maybe like an assistant coach for like the football team.
Well, that has to do with sports betting. It's
that
good
what
to
it
know.
is?
It's good to know your numbers
Counting
when
numbers.
you're.
Yeah. See, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our first sponsor.
Yeah.
Well, we can't say
Yeah, we
anything.
can't say-
Just in case.
Yeah, I was about to say what too. Jamie, I'm so sorry. What was your unpopular opinion?
Oh, my unpopular opinion.
Oh wow.
Wow. I think this movie needed a death. I think some of the most
I
powerful,
love that.
some of the most powerful like teacher in inner city school genre type movies usually have a death that really kind of like tugs at your heartstrings.
Yeah.
And it's like the second act kind of. The moment of
That was the climax.
The climax that makes everyone sad, and then
And like, and you're right, because then if like let's say like who'd you want to die?
No, I immediately
Well,
thought it was
I wanna
gonna
ask
be.
that.
I immediately thought it was gonna be Lou Diamond Filipino, because we know he's Filipino, but he plays great.
Yeah.
He gives great Latino. So we do love like we gave a pass for Al Pacino and Scarface. We give a pass for Lou Diamond Phillips.
That's a good pass.
Yeah,
He's a good pass.
Close enough.
But so Lou Diamond Phillips, he was the guy, and there was a scene where I thought that was gonna be the scene where he gets shot in the back of in the back. You know what I mean? Because he was having conflict with the original guy from that first scene that was like talking, being like very gangsterish to Jaime Escalante. And it never came to pass, and we didn't have that moment of like, yo, this is what the streets could do to you if you don't get an education.
Right.
And so you think that also would have motivated all the remaining students to get the passing score to do it in honor
Well,
of
look,
him?
you even said it earlier before. Some of these students had points about why they didn't need to take this test.
Yeah, that was gonna
like
be
they
my-
had real world money coming in. What was
my
the guy? Yeah.
unpopular opinion was
Yeah.
the guy that looks like AC Slater before AC Slater.
Fucking
the
Pancho.
meathead dude.
Pancho, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, dude, I'm gonna work weekends, and then if I do, I'm gonna get a union job. I'm gonna make more money than you.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
He wasn't
you know
wrong.
what? My opinion, I agree with him. Like
Yeah.
back in the '80s, if scale it out, he would have been making 100 G's.
You know what's so funny though to what you just said? I don't think the kids also had an interesting sense of individualism, and not necessarily because they were being selfish, but it was because they really genuinely did have their own problems, right? But to your point, I actually don't think it would have hit them that hard if Angela died. I think they wouldn't have. I think they would just work it out, and that's it. Comparatively, though, to if Mr. Escalante died, I think they would have been like,
oh yeah, if that heart attack really,
if that heart attack really took him out, I think that would have more inspired them. But
yeah, no, that's.
he also came back so fucking fast, by the way. Like,
he was like, "Hey kids, I'm back."
Like, you should be re-resting.
He came
with
with the hat.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait,
It's
okay.
like, why'd you give us a 10-minute?
Yeah.
Oscar. That probably was the scene.
Yeah.
The Oscar-nominated clip that they showed of like him just going, ay, oh. I was like, all right, we get it.
Unpopular opinion for me, I don't think the second testing was enough. If like if you really were trying to break down that somebody was cheating, I don't think a second testing was just that's it.
Because if you didn't find out who the source of the first one was, how would you not know that they had the same guy was like, I got you the second test. Don't worry about it.
Right, exactly. Like, even when I was making the joke, it was like, I got it from the mailman. I paid him off.
Oh, that was a great moment
His
right
body's
there.
rotting in my closet. Like, even when there was a joke, I'm like, but he could have. That wouldn't have been a bad idea to get the test from the mailman, because now everything's digital, of course.
I want to tell you my favorite. Were you inspired? Did you feel the passion in the moment he does confront the FBI agents? Where he goes in there, he's like, "Yo, if I see you in the street, I'm gonna beat you up." Like, did you like that back and forth?
I did. I thought that was the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. There was some really good acting going on. This is where Edward James Olmos really shined, and also young Andy Garcia in this movie again, and another character actor that was the two guys in that scene. But Andy Garcia had a moment where he was just like yelling.
Snapped.
Yeah, he snapped. The acting in that scene was great. And also, Fact and Furious, I read that was pretty much almost verbatim. The conversation, everything Jaime Escalante said in that scene was almost verbatim what he said in that real moment. So that wasn't, he
Makes
probably
sense.
was, he probably was on set, was like.
Because I got frustrated. I'm just like, yo, show me proof. And you could tell that, like, bro, like, read the room. We're not going to tell you the truth.
It was a great scene because it was like, he was pushing and they were pushing back and no one was getting what they wanted. It was really intense.
Hi, man, we're going to call security. Call security.
That's where the beauty, right? Call security. That's where the beauty of like older movies comes out to me, where I didn't need an exceptional explanation to the problem.
Right.
The problem's just the problem. Problem is that they have an assumption.
Yeah.
And that's it. And yes, the factors are there are kids from they're not white kids. They're kids from a low economical school area with a school who has more than below test averaging scores. So that was it. That was the problem. That was their assumption. They wanted to assume that, and they made it a problem. I love it.
Do you think he got a little cocky in the end of the movie? Because he was like, 5. Like, they were listing out all the scores as 5, 4, and they're showing it there.
Fuck yeah.
And then he just leaves. I'm like, what if the next 5 or 2, 1, and he's just walking down the hall?
Mike Diaz won.
Yeah.
Failed.
But then that's why I liked when he was like, I want them all to have their original test scores.
Yeah.
Can we do our MVP or imposters of the week?
Yeah.
MVP for me was Lupe, because she was kind of like she was for me the more inspiring child amongst all of them, because even though she had to go through her shit, she kind of was one of the first ones to really like come back and be a team player. And I feel like low key that that was like Mr. Escalante's favorite. That interaction when he was seeing
Like
her
he liked
father,
her, like he thought she was cute.
Right. Well, not like that. Damn. Even though he looks like that would matter, right? But that was where it was like, okay, cool. I like this character. She's not that much of a smart ass, and she just had to deal with her family problems. What about for you guys?
My MVP was his wife. I think she had to deal, and even before I go into that, like, I think it's interesting that we see early on that he lives in like a middle class neighborhood.
Yeah,
he's friends with a white. There's a white guy that he's talking to, and he seems to be friendly. Nobody thinks he's like the Latin guy, and then they live very. Yeah, I think he had a boat in his garage. Like, they live very comfortable, and he had this other job that he left, which again goes back to my addiction theory. It's like, why did he leave this kind of cushy job that got him this nice house and sort of, completely turn his life upside down. And I'm only saying that because his wife doesn't seem like she's very happy
Not at all.
the fact that. So this is an inspiring movie, but I feel like she kind of gets the shaft.
Yeah.
Because
Hey,
she
yo.
doesn't seem like she's
Okay.
getting any sort of satisfaction from him.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And this is an impending divorce. And so.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
When they were at the dinner scene, and then the little one is like, "Dad, I have a problem with this." He's like, "Look, already teaching at the table." I was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah, she's at the
kind
end of her
over it.
rope.
Yeah, she's over
So
it.
the math ain't mathing on this relationship.
There's no solution here, baby.
There's no solution.
This is not equating.
This is not, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, mine is a low hanging fruit. I feel like it's Angel Lou Diamond Phillip. I feel like
Fair.
the even in like you're just watching him. He's at the Jaime's house in the end, and he's there. All the progress, all the stuff that we saw, kind of like helped Jaime out, and I enjoyed the scene with him when he egged on the FBI agents. I want to call them that, where he was like, "Yo, it was me," and he looped them in, and then that's what made him leave. It was funny because he's about to tell the story, and they're doing it like an FBI agent. They're opening up their freaking notepad to
interrogating
writing
them.
it down, and the way he looped them in, and it's like, "Fuck you."
And they were just kids. Like if
That
it
was
is-
an
if it is
extended
based on
laugh
if
scene
it is
too.
if it is based on a true story, and clearly it is, they're just kids.
Yeah,
They're
man.
kids who really were trying. Like even nowadays, if we were to even take a modern take, it's like I can only imagine there are some kids maybe like that they'd be cheating, but then there's some that don't cheat, and that is discouraging as
Yeah,
fuck.
of
Like they're
course.
really trying to figure out, and that's actually why while I was watching the movie, I was inspired to want to ask you guys about how you feel like you guys were during school, because I could only imagine trying to figure it out just on base level of your grades, then. Let's say going from freshman to senior,
Yeah.
then from senior to college, and knowing what you want to even pursue in college, or maybe you want to do a job after high school. It's just a lot of factors that I didn't realize that all these kids just had so much pressure about. You know?
Especially in the 80s, and especially in that
In
school
East
in that
LA,
area.
yeah.
And also, they all look for it in their 40s.
That,
Like as
that
every
was-
80s,
yeah.
every 80s high school
Yeah,
kid
that
looked
was-
old.
That was crazy.
So,
who do you think was the
obviously-
oldest looking student? Was the AC Slater one?
I forgot what that shorty's
He
name was.
has like, he looks like an old guy already. Yeah, I could see him being like someone's dad.
Oh, I think it was. I think
And
it
he's
was
with and then he had a little subplot with the little relationship subplot with the gordita.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, it's just a summer thing," and she's like, "Oh my god, like I don't want to be your girlfriend. With just whenever it's convenient for
yeah,
you."
that was definitely the one.
I was like, "Why are we getting this? Why are we getting this
one?
like teen drama,
Yeah.
relationship drama on the side?"
For the imposter one, again, I'm breaking the rule a little bit, but there was one scene that stood out, and I'm like, that's an imposter move. Was the Kelly Kapowski's mom? You know who I'm talking about? The hairspray, the girl that
The one who was dating the older white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her mom comes home and she goes on the couch with her shoes on. Ain't no Latina mom is gonna have that. That's an
Ooh, that's a
imposter
good one.
move.
Yeah.
Regardless if whatever, that right there. Like my wife watched it. She's like, oh hell no. No Latina mom.
Let's not let
Regardless of what
that
it
happen.
is. She's taking off her shoes.
That's
She
not
don't put the
Hollywood
shoes-
magic, baby.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's mine. I might have stretched the rules a little bit, but we have no rules.
there's no
but
rules.
that's my imposter of the week. That move right there.
And then obviously, fucking Lou Diamond Filipino. Like, that's
Right. That almost was my imposter of the
Yeah.
week.
But
You see what I did there, Mike?
um,
I was trying to find a good time to put the almost in there.
You had it.
I almost didn't do it.
Yeah.
I almost didn't do it. Pero, my imposter, I don't know if this is like a person. It's an idea of
okay.
most Latino movies are based on true life. This is a real true life story.
Yes.
Most of our movies, especially back then, were based on real life stories. Like we only get biopics. And even
Okay.
now it's like, oh, Selena, or it's like a
Yeah.
musician, La Bamba, or a
Nacho
real
Libre.
life story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or El
Actually-
Norte, like a real life story of a thing and that. Where's the original, fictional, non-fictional characters?
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
So it made me think. It was like, this is another true story. And then when I'm looking at other movies that we might do, or we have done already, a lot of them are like real life stories, which are great. But is this like
True?
Can we think of like original characters?
I was
Just-
trying to make a
true.
joke about Nacho Libre, but it is based on the story of Fray Tormenta.
for real.
Yeah, I was trying to, which was a Mexican priest.
And he was like, no, I got you one.
You
like,
see,
yeah.
it's like
Wow.
let us do some sci-fi. Where's the Latino sci-fi movie?
That's true.
we got Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there was actually real Blue Beetle though, like
okay.
in Miami. No, I'm joking. He's a vigilante. He's a vigilante in Miami. That
He has
calls himself
electronic
Blue Beetle.
powers.
Oh my god.
Is there anything
What
else
about
you
you?
guys?
Did you have one or
No, I think
Okay.
I think the Lou Diamond was probably it, but then,
Right.
I mean that's just me being super technical.
Yeah, he did. He was good.
But then he
Yeah.
was, he did his due
He did his
diligence,
thing, man.
especially as a sporting character. Anything else you guys want to mention before we get into the PAPI point system?
The music was
Oh, please.
I
was
thought of you, bro.
very 80s.
Yeah.
Actually, and then the actual composer of is Craig Safran, or Safran, and he's a well-known 80s musical composer. He did the score for the Last Starfighter, which is a great
Okay.
score for all you movie score nerds out there.
Subreddit.
And so when I saw that when it popped up in the credits, in the opening credits, I was like, oh, okay. And it's very like Miami Vice. It's very like,
Boom.
yeah.
boom.
And then a little Karate Kid in there.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of
baby.
Yeah.
So it was interesting how,
It stood out for me when they were taking the tests.
yeah. 'cause
yeah.
it was like a montage.
Montage, yeah.
And all they're doing is filling in multiple choice questions. But it's like,
I love how they were like they were trying to throw you off because the way they were struggling.
Yeah.
And yeah, they got 5 and 4s.
Sweating and fucking.
Yeah.
It's like if I
Racing.
had that music when I was taking my SATs, I would have got a 1500.
By the way,
Yeah.
the most gaslighting part was when the FBI agents were like, all right, you're going to have 90 minutes and good luck. You don't want them to don't give me that bullshit about
That's fucked
good
up.
luck. You know you want them to fail, but he was like, all right, everybody, good luck. I'm like, get out of here with that bullshit.
I was about to play a song from the movie, but I realized that would get copyrighted, so I'm just not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
the music is fine.
The music
You're
is
right, yeah.
good. I always appreciate when there's like a real, composer and it's not just generic music that actually makes a movie like better to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that I apprecied that. That's
fire.
Appreciated that.
I like that.
But it's very, again, it's a very 80s movie in general. Like it's to the point of like maybe even the pacing was 80s. Like maybe that's how it was. It was okay. But watching it now, it's like maybe now.
I mean, our attention span now.
Yeah, with
is
our
just-
attention spans, I'm like, you need to like get into a lot of this quicker.
So you're saying this is not something that can turn into a Netflix miniseries?
Great question. I would love to see a remake of this. And I did want to ask you guys, who would you want to play Jaime Escalante?
Well, that's a good question. But I'll let Mike answer it first.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
Fuck no.
I don't know. Fuck no. I think actually
I
Pedro
don't-
Pascal.
damn,
Harvey
he-
Guillaume, the guy that does What We Do in the Shadows. I would put it.
Oh, you know what's funny? First of all, I've had people tell me that I look like this guy. It's annoying.
Really?
Yes. In case you don't remember what he looks like.
Harvey
Yeah.
Guillaume.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he would do a great job with that.
He doesn't.
Trust me, it's not the same.
He doesn't give.
prototype.
He doesn't give old school teacher to me.
God damn it. Maybe Pedro Pascal. I was just
Pedro
kidding, but
Pascal
maybe
actually
Pedro Pascal would.
looks like a guy who would be named Jaime Escalante.
Yeah.
Just based on name and face.
I was 100% kidding, but like just him. Can I put
Yeah, I feel like maybe someone a little more, because I don't think Edward James Olmos even was the right. He seemed like he played older than he even was at this time. So I would even go a little older, and I'm trying to think.
older than okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, someone who's a little bit more grizzled.
Grizzled, okay.
A little bit more of a veteran actor, and maybe like a Benjamin Bratt.
Oh, Benjamin Bratt now.
Benjamin Bratt now, he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
50s.
More, yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit.
actually that's a really good pull.
And I think,
Yeah.
and he's also, he's played West Coast sort of.
Yeah.
What about Lynn?
Still older. Now I get where he's coming from.
No, I get
with
where
that,
he's
yeah.
coming from, but I'm saying
Lynn gives more music teacher.
Yeah, not math teacher. If this was a music.
Yeah, it'll have to be.
It's a music school. Yeah.
That's where they would have to switch it.
But I like Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah, Benjamin Bratt is a good
A very good
switch.
one. Very good one.
Okay, let's get into last but not least our PAPI point system. And in case you guys don't know, our PAPI point system is where we rate the movies, but we put our own little twang to it and give it our own description. I don't mind starting first.
Okay, great.
If you guys, it's because it's gonna piss you guys off.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it 3.5 fractions.
Oh, that was great work. Oh, that was good. 3.5 fractions.
3.5 fractions.
yeah.
I liked the movie. I enjoyed it. I think it's a great movie in terms of just inspiration and stuff. It made me think a lot about at least about my childhood.
Right.
I didn't like the pacing. I think that's probably where it knocked some points off for me.
Yeah.
I love the corny jokes and very 80s-esque. The music was fire. I love Edward James Olmos in the movie. I just thought there wasn't really. It sounds fucked up, but bear with me. I feel like there wasn't really that much of a problem throughout the movie.
Okay. The conflict was?
Or maybe they made the solution happen too easily.
Okay.
Like they learned so fast. I understand there was a montage. I understand the projector, and he was like, "Come on, guys, you know this, right?" Like they did it, but maybe I did need someone to die. You're right. You might be right. Maybe I did need someone.
That's
to die.
what we're waiting for.
Yeah. So 3.5 fractions.
Yeah. Hey, I'll go next.
You can go.
I'm gonna give it 3.5 hairnets.
Okay.
I agree. I think for me, I took something. I took something out of it that did not reflect the quality of the movie. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I like some of the aspects of what he provided of motivation, especially in this structured school system that were like, nah. That's what really brought attention to like it is impossible that these set of kids would do so well, and I like that little bit of the underdog, but I gave it 3.5. It was a good movie, but to me, I felt like it was because it struck me in specific parts that didn't reflect the movie. So I give it 3.5 hairnets that Angel was wearing.
Yes.
Oh, you guys were generous. I give this 2.5 gabachos.
Okay.
And obviously, that's a word, in the movie that one of the characters says that I never had heard before.
I'm going to be very I'm fascinated to see how that looks. With the 2.5 cabachos.
What is it?
2.5 white men, technically.
White men like with sunglasses and fancy cars. Because that's how that's the character they call them gabacho. 2.5. This movie doesn't hold up. Okay?
But it's a movie, Jamie.
I wasn't inspired. Look, Edward James Olmos, great actor. This movie evidently was shown in a lot of classes in the past. If I saw this now in a school, I would be de-inspired. I don't know if that's a word.
Wow.
I would be
uninspired.
Uninspired, right?
Wow.
Uninspired. De-inspired. I need to go back to school. Anyway,
You need that.
You need Edward James Olmos.
You need a Jaime in your life.
Yeah.
This guy was weird. Edward James almost played him in an odd way. I think he spent too much time with this guy at home because he got every one of his weird little like character things.
Yeah.
And I didn't like him. I don't like the main character, I'm not gonna be inspired by him. I'm not gonna root for him.
Got it.
He was too like overbearing. You know, he was telling the people above him, "I'm not gonna do that if you don't put calculus on the you know." Let's put these kids in summer school. They can come.
They listen to him too
come
fast.
to school on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy. They had no contracts. I'm like, yo, you right, bro.
I mean, like he's
That's
expecting
crazy.
a lot. Like
these
that
kids.
would be a lot for like regular kids in any school.
True.
In the inner city, and then it was like a lot of these subplots. Yeah, all of a sudden when he goes into the what's her name's father's restaurant.
Yes.
I was Anna, by the way, not Lupin.
Yeah,
Anna, the guy, the father. Yeah.
It just felt like I didn't feel like he even cared. He was just kind of like
He was just trying to prove a point. Yeah.
And then hey, look, I know he expects a lot from these kids, but you know when the guy's like, "Yo, like I could make more money than you if I work for my father," and he's like, but maybe you can design you ever think maybe one day you can design those cars instead of just fix them? I'm like, that might not be in the cards even if you go to college. Design? What is it, like Elon Musk? All of a sudden he thinks everybody's gonna be like, design cars. What do you do? Like he doesn't live in Germany
Wow,
where they're like, where like they're designing like
get what he means,
Lamborghinis.
though.
He's not in the Lamborghini factory like designing.
I think you're making an amazing point because it's also like maybe just an old school mentality, right?
Yeah.
You know, I gracefully grew up with parents who wanted me to do good in school.
Yeah.
I was always like a B and up student.
Okay.
So they made sure I had good grades and I was consistent with my academics. But they were happy with knowing that I was trying to push through with something in college where like I'd be happy and I'd excel in and eventually monetize.
Yeah.
This is also kind of part of the character where it's like forcing these kids to college.
Yeah.
And some of them maybe don't want to do college or don't have the time or the funds, which, by the way, was something we never got to discuss really in the movie. Like, do these kids have the money for this?
Right.
Yeah.
Would passing this test give them like scholarships? Like
Because that's what something I remember. I'm not blaming Hayes at all, but maybe is a thing that happens in high school is that a lot of conversations don't come up about what does that process look like after. Even if you do go to college, it's like, but what if I don't even know what I want to do yet?
Yeah.
So that whole discussion that you mentioned, it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of movies to compare this to. There's a lot of these, like we said, this genre is and so if I'm comparing it to Lean on Me, in that moment where the students they go on like protest for the teacher to get out to be taken out of prison because they arrested him. You feel that. Yeah, this guy was a hard ass, but they earned his trust. As the movie went on, you saw that he went from a hard ass to a little softer ass, and you saw you saw that transformation. You saw the kids; they earned it, right? He had some hard moments with these kids. I didn't really feel that this was earned in the movie. I'm pretty sure Jaime Escalante earned it in real life.
Yeah.
In the movie, I didn't feel that. And 2.5. I've seen better versions of this movie. I do love, though, that it is a real story of a Latino hero.
Yeah.
This guy was a real hero. This
RP.
guy, and it is a great movie. You know, if I had to add in like another half star to make it 3 stars, it would be because this is the core of this story is inspirational, and the real true story is inspirational. That would make it 5 out of 5. But the movie itself, I was looking at my watch before the whole controversy with the test, which I thought added some conflict that I didn't expect, and it was a plot twist that I didn't expect, and I was actually into the third act more than most of the movie.
Makes sense. The middle was where
and even at the beginning it was just like, okay, what's up with this dude? But the third act, I stopped looking at my watch in the third act, and some really good acting, some really good scenes, and some really good tension.
And the music got good.
But the 2 acts before it, that's why it's 2.5. Stand and Deliver, though, you know, it's still good. It's still
Angry
good.
Jaime is my favorite.
No, I think you made a lot of valid points. I actually love the conscience of Rings, but cool. I don't know if there's anything else, but guys, this was
guys. If you're finished watching this and you're really pissed off at Jamie, we'll have his Instagram handle, social handles right there.
Make sure you follow us.
I gave it 3.5.
Yeah,
he gave it 2.5.
Follow us on every and any social media platform that we have available in the description. On all DSPs, on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and follow us individually when you have a moment. Please go watch Stand and Deliver and any other film that we've watched.
And they can give their own ratings.
And give your own PAPI point system down there in the comments and let us know what you would want to give the movie. I'm Eddin Martinez, Jaime Fernandez, Mike Diaz, Juan Bago. We are the Cine Papis.
Cine Papis.